Putin's Kharkiv escalation was another bluff. What happens now? Vladimir Putin threatened major escalation if Ukraine was allowed to strike into Russian territory with Western weapons. Once the West crossed that red line, the escalation did not happen. The West knows that bluffing is Putin's favorite way of conducting foreign policy, so why does it keep playing this game? KYIV. Over the past month, many Western countries, which for more than 2 years refused, hesitated, and struggled with their own red lines, dared to make a logical and fair decision. They allowed Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory with Western weapons. And in doing so, they broke down a very important psychological barrier which previously seemed insurmountable due to the fear of escalation. From now on, American and European missiles and ammunition have a great opportunity to cross the officially recognized Russian border and fulfill their main function. Of course, Russia does not like the fact that its military facilities in the border zone are under direct attack from Western weapons. But the terrible escalation threatened by Moscow has not happened. No nuclear warheads flew to London, Berlin, Paris, or Washington. No one attacked the airfields of NATO countries. On the contrary, Ukraine's strikes on Russia's Belgorod region had a positive de-escalating effect. The lifting of the ban on strikes against Russia enabled the armed forces of Ukraine to stop Russia's offensive in the Kharkiv region and seriously disrupt its plans. The Belgorod region got to know the weapons of NATO countries, and they were not pleased with the acquaintance. Until recently, they were quietly accumulating forces and assets near the Ukrainian border, firing at Ukrainian towns and villages, killing civilians and destroying infrastructure. And they were not too worried about retaliation. The big question is, if Ukraine could have launched preemptive strikes, would there have been a new Russian offensive in the Kharkiv region? Such a military operation cannot be prepared without accumulating reserves, creating command centers, forming strike teams, and equipping troops with air defense systems. If Ukrainian forces had targeted them in the previous months, preventing the deployment of groups numbering tens of thousands of people, perhaps there would be no fighting for Volchansk today. And the Russian invaders would not have captured several Ukrainian villages in the north of the region. It is always better when the gray zone is the enemy's border and not your own.